Make the energy at James Madison going to fuel the blimp today. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Kick off your drive with tires that return superior performance. Goodyear, more driven. Keep gathering on the quad. On homecoming at James Madison, they take on Richmond. It's just continued to burgeon and grow as the 3 hours of game day is unfolded. And not for 1 second has the intensity waned, but now they're waiting to get a super dog from you, Herbie.
Well, let's go with some upsets here. I'm going to say Washington State over Arizona.
No.
This is a football team that can make plays, they can throw it around. Luke Falk today has a big day, and who knows, if they win, maybe game day goes out to the
no, we can't do that. Wake Forest over NC State. Listen, Wake Forest played very well against Florida State. Even though they lost the game, do not count them out. And they played against BCU. Nice win. I think they got a little confidence. And I got to give a shout out to my man CP3.
This is for Lee Corso. Pitt is undefeated in ACC play, but this game is played in a dome. Syracuse is tough at home, and it's homecoming. Nobody loses homecoming.
Coach is something special to book up. That's why he's not with us right now. My super dog, I was mocked for trying to take Vanderbilt, so I'm going to go with Bill Cuba in Illinois and home to Wisconsin. Wisconsin's not running the ball the way they historically have, and I think that the Illini will be able to spring the upset. Cuba's done a really nice job.
Interesting.
Now let's take a look at our Saturday selections brought to you by Chevrolet. You see the empty chair and you're very popular here. Coach Bentley joining us.
Thanks, man. Great to be here. I actually played a gig here 12 years ago to the day. I played a show here 12 years ago to the day. I played a place here called The Pub, and it's since closed due to illegal activities and money laundering. Like a lot of the bars.
But you were not involved in that.
Like a lot of the bars I played back in the early days. They're since closed. I played 12 years ago today, so it's great to be back.
And you're saying, was the crowd about the same size then?
It was about 500 people, but this is a little bigger. But this is loud.
And be ready to see you go this time. We'll see Corso do his deal coming up in just a few moments, but let's start with our Saturday selections. Kansas State and Texas. Bill Snyder apologized to his fans after Oklahoma. Who wins it, Des?
Really disappointing loss to Oklahoma. I thought Oklahoma would beat them, but not that bad. I think they exploited Kansas State. I think Texas would win a close one against Kansas State.
Dirks?
I mean, you got some of the greatest bars in Austin, Texas. Got the Continental Club.
All about the bars.
Curls, Mexican food. It's unbelievable. I got to go Texas on this one.
There you go.
Good pick. Texas, they're confident after the Oklahoma win by 2 field goals and a safety.
He's doing Corso.
That's good. I'm going to say that Gerard Hurd, scrambling around, so athletic. And how about Dante Freeman, this young back from Texas, the way he ran against Oklahoma? I think Texas is on to something right now on offense. I'm going with the Longhorns.
Who's not on to something right now is Northwestern. Dropped a couple in a row on ESPN2 in a few minutes against Nebraska. Who wins it?
It seems as though the Michigan game took a lot of life out of Northwestern. They just haven't looked the same. I think that Nebraska's going to win a close one. I got Nebraska.
Yeah, I'm going for Nebraska on this one, too. A lot of memories of watching them play the Fiesta Bowl back in the day growing up in Arizona. So I've always had a good soft spot for them.
You're on to something here. That's good. Good pick. I'm going to say Nebraska for Lee says finally they win a close one by a field goal. All right. For me, I think you guys are right. Of all the teams in the country, Nebraska has been a football team that's lost 4 games by a combined 11 points.
Yeah.
This is the game they finally are able to turn their fortunes around. I like Nebraska to beat Northwestern.
I like that dual role thing you're doing like that.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
It's like an Eddie Murphy movie or something.
Don't worry, he spends a lot of time talking to himself. Clemson and Miami coming up on ABC.
I just think that Deshaun Watson is a special talent, and I was concerned with him after the knee surgery, but in the Notre Dame game, he showed that he can run again. He's comfortable running the ball. So I think Deshaun Watson and Clemson will beat Miami.
Yeah, we'll go with Clemson too. I guess this series, the team playing on the road has actually won the last 4 games in this series, so we'll stick with that theory. Go with Clemson.
Country music, huh? This guy knows what he's talking about. That's what it says, right?
Yeah,
it's just throw something out.
Exactly right.
I'm reading it right on. It's exactly Clemson wins in overtime by a field goal. That's what LC says. I think the difference in this football game, this could be probably the best game of the day outside of JMU and Richmond. This will be the best game of the day.
Nice.
It's third down defense. Clemson's third down defense and Deshaun Watson. That'll be the difference. 4-quarter game. Tigers find a way to win it late.
Also in the ACC, perhaps a trouble spot, Florida State against Georgia Tech.
You know, Georgia Tech's defense, they're just awful against the run. I think Dalvin Cook will have about 207 yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns. I like Florida State by 17 points.
Yeah, definitely like Florida State this one. I have good memories of playing some bars in Florida State. The Moon, great country bar. We got the Tabernacle, the Variety Playhouse in Atlanta, but I got to go with FSU on this one.
I like your thinking. I like your logic. Lee says Florida State finally turns the ball over because they don't have a turnover on the offense.
Right.
Finally turns it over, but wins a close one. He's always trying to coach up Florida State. I'm with Dennis. I'm picking Florida State because of Dalvin Cook. Let's hope that the hamstring holds up for him. And I also think this defense, Charles Kelly, who used to be on Tech's sidelines, now with Florida State. Georgia Tech moved the ball at will last year in the ACC championship game. Not this time. I think Florida State's defense is ready for him. I'll deal with this.
And this, exactly right.
I mean, I got a lot going on right now.
You got to handle the pressure of the quarterback, right? That game's on ESPN2, 7 o'clock Eastern time. Let's stay in the ACC, Duke and Virginia Tech.
I got Duke. I think Duke's going to win a close one. I think Virginia Tech will battle, but I got Duke in a close one.
I'm going to go with Virginia Tech in this one. The quarterback's back. I feel like it's going to be Virginia Tech.
Who are you going with?
Virginia Tech.
Not
so fast.
Duke stays unbeaten in the ACC. Upset. That's all. That's what he has. You know, this Duke's defense, it doesn't get a lot of notoriety, but their defense has been unbelievable. I think their defense will be tough against Virginia Tech and lead them to a victory. I'm going with the Dukies.
USC and Utah. Utah's the highest ranked team to be an underdog to an unranked opponent in about 20 years. Yeah. The Trojans get it done.
I think so. I think USC will win this game because they will not turn the ball over. Cody Kessler will play at a high level. They got too many weapons all over the field. So I got USC to beat Utah.
Yeah, I'm going with the Bear on this one too. He likes USC, and it's going back and forth what you said earlier. I think Utah is probably get a little bit of a chip on their shoulder now that everyone has been writing them off, even though they're an undefeated team. But I still think USC just is a stronger team.
Not so fast, my friend. Not so fast, my friend. Not so fast, my friend. All he wrote here is Utah upset. So we put that down there. I'll go with Utah. It has everything to do with the psychological attitude that this football team shows up with. USC is athletic, physically probably a better team than Utah, but Utah is kind of a team that will show up and play 4 quarters. Can SC play 60 minutes against a very determined Kyle Whittingham team? I'm going with Utah finding a way to win that one.
From determined teams to somewhat desperate teams, Texas A&M and Ole Miss tonight on ESPN 7 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah, desperate is right. I think that the Aggies, after being just embarrassed a week ago by Alabama, will bounce back against Ole Miss. I got the Aggies in a pretty convincing victory.
Yeah, this is one of the tough one for me. I think about Ole Miss, one of the greatest live on-campus BYOB venues. I mean, the Grove is one of the finest places you can possibly play.
Special place.
You got Hurricane Harry's over in College Station, one of the most fun bars you can play. So it's a tough one. My mind says the Aggies with Myles Garrett, but I'm going to go with Ole Miss in my heart. So.
Going with the Grove.
Yeah.
This is Texas A&M, so it's another nuts. You guys got a lot of nuts so fast, my friend.
Sorry about that.
He's just going to say upset in the Grove. I'm going to look at this, and I think that Chad Kelly and big plays through the air. I think Laquan Treadwell has a big game. Cody Core. I think Ole Miss is able to come back home, even after that loss last week to Memphis. They got humiliated. I think they show up a little bit more determined today. And they still control their own destiny in the SEC. I like Ole Miss.
And that is the only game at the FBS level that features a matchup of ranked opponents. But we have one here in Harrisonburg as well, too. James Madison taking on Richmond. James Madison is the only undefeated FCS team with a victory over an FBS opponent. Playoff positioning is important. Conference chase is important. Bragging rights, the most important when the Dukes and Spiders clash.
This is a big game. This will be the biggest game in the state this weekend. There are a lot of kids that played on the same high school teams and against each other.
I was recruited out of high school slightly from JMU. They didn't show me a lot of attention. That gives me some ammunition to play even better.
This is our biggest rival. You get a little
more amped up for games like this.
They're going to talk about this game like it was yesterday, even if it's 20 years from now.
This is more us trying to reestablish ourselves as a legitimate contender here on the national scope.
We are in control of our own fate, and we believe that Saturday is another step to reaching our goals.
Desmond, James Madison or Richmond? I know we got to hurry up and get to the skip. I must say, I like Richmond's helmets. I know my son Demir and Desmond like, man, can you bring that helmet home? I'm going with JMU. Just too much offense. They were explosive on offense. I got JMU in the big win for homecoming.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not obviously going to JMU. This is special for me. When I heard that college game day was coming to JMU, and thinking about the fact that I played here 12 years ago to the day, it's a special day here in Harrisonburg. So definitely going for JMU.
Kirk, what do you have?
Well, we'll get to the Sunshine State in a second. I just like to say that this is what, to me, makes college game day so special. I tip of the cap to Lee Fitting and all the decision makers on sending us to these kind of shows, because you can see college football and the passion for the game is everywhere at every single level. I think it's going to be a great game. You have such contrasting styles, the physicality in the run game and defense, and getting turnovers for Richmond and scoring in bunches for JMU. How can we come here and pick against JMU? I'm going with Duke right here. Victory.
Showtime.
That's the pick they love.
Where is
Herb Street did an unbelievable job in the dual personalities. You got him to coach well, but there is only one Lee Corso. Lee Corso.
Wow.
The father of the Constitution.
I, James Madison, declare to you, the American people, the Dukes have nothing to fear today but fear itself. I predict a Dukes victory today over the Richmond Spiders. God bless the Dukes, and God bless the United States of America.
And there you have it.
That's something, man.
What a day.
Look at the wings, by the way. Look at the right hand.
Outstanding.
What a great day to be an American.
Yes,
right?
sir.
Yes.
Corso for president. Following in the footsteps of James Madison. Reigning Winco from Baylor and Iowa State coming out. Bob with shoes and Brock Hewitt and Shannon Spade are standing by. The Duke Dog wearing the headgear. God bless James Madison and the United States of America. It's all yours, Bob.